Tonight marks the apparent end to the Carlee Russell saga. You might remember last year when Russell was seemingly kidnapped, sparking a manhunt, national media attention. Well, today she pled guilty to a pair of misdemeanor charges related to faking her own abduction. She was given a 6-month suspended jail sentence, meaning she won't spend time behind bars unless she violates certain conditions. And she was also ordered to pay nearly $18,000 in restitution to the government, whose time she wasted in searching for her. Fighting back tears, she addressed the court today before her sentencing.
I want to genuinely apologize for my actions and the resulting negative impact inflicted onto others. I made a grave mistake. I also extend my sincerest apologies to the Hoover Police Department and every other law enforcement agency and personnel for the position that I put them in and for the resources used.
The nursing student from Alabama was 25 years old when she caused a nationwide firestorm last summer after she called 911 claiming to have pulled over her car to check on a toddler who was wandering around alone near a highway.
911, where's your emergency?
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there is a kid just walking by themselves.
Oh, hold on. Where on 459 are you?
And Russell would go on to meticulously describe that non-existent little boy.
Do they look like they're injured?
No, they don't.
Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian?
They're white.
Okay. Is it male or female?
I think it's a boy, a little boy.
White male? Okay. Is he wearing clothes?
Yes.
Okay. What is he wearing?
It's a white T-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper.
Police would eventually arrive on the scene to find Carlee's abandoned car with no trace of her or the child. She just disappeared. And then 49 hours later, she showed up at her parents' house claiming she had been kidnapped but was able to escape. She even went into detail with police to describe her, quote, abductor as white with orange hair and a bald spot. Turns out this was all a hoax. That lost toddler never existed. Carlee was never kidnapped, though she did disappear for 2 days, but that was seemingly under her own volition, and she has never stated publicly exactly where she went or why she made it all up. Which brings us to today, where she pled guilty but managed to avoid some time behind bars. And Hoover, Alabama Police Chief Nick Durzis, who along with his team investigated the disappearance and eventual hoax of Carlee Russell. Chief, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me.
So what's your reaction to today's sentence?
I'm not real happy with it. It's we believe there should be consequences for your actions, and really there's not much consequence here. I got the suspended jail sentence, got the 100 hours community service, mental health counseling. But the consequences to me lie with the parents, because I don't think she's got 18 grand to fork up to the city of Hoover for really probably a third of the expense that we incurred during that 49 hours. And probably the thing that upsets me more than anything is the fact that she apologized today. To me, the apology is a little bit late. The apology should have come back in July when we expended all the efforts, and the community. It was 100 degrees that weekend. I can remember it. And you had hundreds of citizens that had no knowledge of her, didn't know her, that came out, searched, stayed away from their families, didn't do fun things that day, didn't go to the swimming pool, but were out searching. And then today, there's no jail sentence. But we still don't know where she was. I wish they would have mandated, if they're not going to give her a jail sentence, tell us where she was so at least we'd know. Obviously, she probably had help, and maybe that's one of the reasons she doesn't want to talk about it. But to me, it was a little slap on the wrist that I think should have been a lot worse.
I agree with you. I think the victim here is law enforcement, right? The time, the expense that goes into looking for her. I mean, it could have gone to another crime that's actually happening. It kind of takes away from the real missing people, the real kidnapped victims. I totally agree with you. You mentioned the idea she didn't apologize beforehand. I want to play this. This is number one. This is her response in court, talking about what she was going through. Let's play that.
I made a grave mistake while trying to fight through various emotional issues and stress, and in hindsight wish that I had cried for help in a totally different manner.
So look, I think we can all agree it makes absolutely no sense why she did this. She's clearly went through something. And that you say that you wish she apologized sooner, but given this emotional state she was in, maybe a mental health crisis, does that give you pause? She apologized today, but it seems like you're not accepting the apology. You think it's too late. But given what she went through, does that give you pause to say I might understand why she didn't apologize before?
Bottom line, I'm not sure what she was going through, right? So, we deal with people every day with mental health crises. I've been a police chief for 19 years, and as a police chief, we see situations occur all the time. But this thing was a pretty elaborate deal, as you stated, to begin with.
Yeah.
From the time that she's talking to 911, she disappears, and then miraculously 49 hours later, we've got video of her coming down the street of where her parents live, and she's nonchalantly walking down the street until she gets to the house and starts screaming.
Chief, what she did was inexcusable. What she did, Chief, was inexcusable. I'll agree with you on that. You talk about how the 18,000 is not enough. You talk about how there's no jail sentence. There is a new law that's being proposed that would escalate this from a misdemeanor to a felony, these kinds of false reporting cases, if there's an imminent danger. Do you support that?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I'm probably the reason that it started. The last press conference I gave, because it was only a misdemeanor charge that we could have at the time, but I felt like I'd go to the legislature and ask for situations like this to become a felony. And it appears that hopefully will take effect. The governor signs it hopefully in October of this year, and hopefully that someone will think about it before they do something like this the next time. But again, listen, I'm glad that she pled guilty. I'm glad she's getting counseling. I wish her the best in her future. I just wish the circumstances would have been a little bit different.
Yeah, I think we all do. Chief Nick Durzis, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it, sir.